Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. I've been seeing a lot of people building these power drawbars here. This is a design I came up with and I never really got a chance to finish it. I have this Wells Index milling machine and I bought one of those impact wrenches that everybody sells. This is the model number if anybody's interested. I got it off of Amazon, pretty cheap. I think it was like 30 bucks or something like that. Probably a while ago. Anyway, what I did was I made mine a little differently than I seen other people, and I think I might have overcomplicated this and made this harder for me. Now I got a little busy. I didn't get a chance to really put this on yet. My next step was going to make a plate for the bottom here, and oh, I just dropped something. And I was going to mount some for this, but I got stuck on a few things, and like everything else, I got a little I ended up doing a few other things. I never really got back to this, but I'd like to get back to it. But what I wanted to show everybody was the design that I had come up with. It's kind of hard to show, but what I have here is I used, like everybody else does, I used air and everything else. But what I did was I used air, and then I made them to actual switches. So I put in, so I made, these are 12 volt. These are little air adapters. If you can see them right there. So this is one right here, and then these are the two for up and down. And basically what I have in my power drawbar here is right there. You can see that. Those are the inputs. So I made a new plate. I made everything here. This is all homemade. Nothing is, I didn't buy anything. But my design is not the best, and I'll show you why and what I have to change. So the way I have it now is that if you hit this button, oh, let me grab it. And again, I didn't even mount anything yet. But if you hit this button, one of these buttons will put it down. Okay, let me show you here. It goes down and turn. I have it in my voice, so it's going to be a little crooked and stuff like that. But anyway, that's my other problem. One of the rods keeps coming up. So the problem I have is I never really countersunk the bottom here and everything else. Let me take it off. So one way would obviously go, one way is down, and then one way is the other way. So you're going to loosen and tighten. So I'm going to give you a little close-up of this thing. I'm going to take it off of here, actually. And so this is what I had built. Now the problem I made is, you see the bottom, okay? What I have to do is I have to change around. I got to countersink these bolts here. This is holding on my air cylinder. Now I'm only using one air cylinder. It's a very small one. And then these, same thing with these. I had to reverse these. This piece is supposed to be the bottom. But what I think I'm going to do, there's a couple things I got to change around. I want to make a new plate for these, make all this flush so I can mount this to the new plate. And then on the top here, I think I'm going to use longer rods. These, I made these before to where they basically are just almost at the top there, but I think I actually want them, I bought, these were I think a 2 feet long, or maybe something like that. What I did is I cut them in half and I used, one for both sides, or I should bought one of them and use two of them, but I think I'm actually going to extend them so they can be a different way because it's kind of too short now. But so I made all this stuff here. Everything was handmade. The plate, everything else. I liked the way everything worked until I went to the mounting, and then I ended up stopping and a few other things. So I guess I like the electronics. I like the fact that I wanted to just mount the switches so I didn't have to reach up anywhere, and this way I can just like push it one way or push it the other way. So that was one of the nice things I liked. Now, again, so if you see, these are all the old parts I had. I took all this stuff out. I know some people reuse this plate, and I just made a new one. They, put the handle down farther. There's so many different designs, and I have this running off of like a power supply right now, which I had to get a different one, something smaller. But it does work out well. I did change it to a Torx bolt. I did make my own drawbar for this unit. I still have the other one. It's actually one of these. But I wanted to go with more of a, what I did was I took a Torx bolt. Let me see, I think it's tight in here, but if I can pull it out real quick, I can show you. Well, I can show you another time, but basically all I did was I just took that, made a different drawbar with a Torx end, because I figured the Torx might grab it a little better, and what I did was like, I rounded the top of the torch so it has a smoother way of like going down into it. But my next step, like I said, is to take this whole thing apart. I want to redo this right here, probably turn these upside down. I really don't need two ball bearings on the top and bottom. Honestly, I could probably just replace these with like a plate or something just to hold this rod here because it keeps moving up and down. And that's another issue I'm having. So again, there's some things I want to think about and redo. But I just want to show some people my design because I've seen a lot of different designs. This one I've made with one cylinder. Um, it's basically really, really simple. The only part I made a little more complicated was with the electronics. One's for open and close, or I should say forward and reverse. And then this one is for the actual air cylinder. So the air cylinder only goes down in one position. It only goes down. So even though I have two lines going to it, that's just for the down position. If I gave it power, it would actually shoot the other way. Or, I'm sorry, when you don't give it power, it lets it go the other way. So that's why I only have 12 volts going to one thing. These are basically just little air adapters and stuff like that. This, again, I made this little plate. It's, again, piece of aluminum. It's no big deal. This was the old piece. But like I said, I bypassed that all just to put just having it going in and out. And like I said, I'm not a professional. I'm not a machinist. This is just a hobby for me, watching, Mr. Pete and Joe Pysinski. I mean, all these people are just amazing teachers. And honestly, I'm in my late 50s. I'm disabled. I do this just as a hobby. I'm not a professional. Everything I've learned, to be honest with you, I've learned off of, like I said, Mr. Pete or Joe Pysinski. Those are usually the two people I'll really watch the most, and I've learned so many tricks from them guys. It's been amazing. But anyway, yeah, this is my Wells Index. It's a 747, I think. Pretty beat up, but somebody honestly didn't even want it, so they bought a house, and I took it off their hands for free. It was very nice of me. I appreciate it from them, yeah. So anyway, but like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to be doing upcoming videos. My next video is going to be, countersinking these pieces down here, making another plate. Just some other things. I want to try to simplify this a little bit. And like I said, I wanted to mount the switches somewhere. It would be a lot easier and everything else. But just to give you an idea, anybody has any questions, anything else? Like I said, this is way overkill for a drawbar. But I did hold it up there, and it does work, and I did try it, and it works great. So I just got to make a plate. Now, my Wells Index is a little different than Bridgeport, so I'm going to look and see what kind of bearing cap is up there and seeing what I can use to adapt the bearing cap to this. And I think the other problem I did was, too, I might have made this a little too short, because if you can see, well, actually, that's right. I wanted to make another plate for this, but I think if I turn this around, I'd like to make another plate on the bottom of here that'll hold the whole thing on the adapter. See, a lot of people make this where this is the center part. I unfortunately made it like this. I don't know, my stupid design. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys an update on this power drawbar. I am going to start working on it again because I've been using the mill a lot more. And, so if anybody has any questions, let me know. I will be starting this probably in the next few days or so. I got to get some tests done. I'm getting surgery for my hip replacement. So give me a few days and I'll get back to work on this. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helps somebody, or like I said, anything. And I've seen a lot of designs, and I really liked a lot of them. This is just the one I decided to choose, and it was all like as I was going along, it was just hit or miss. So, but anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video soon. Take care. Hope everyone is safe and well.